You still have your job. Your company is profitable, record profits actually. The economy is technically growing, and somehow you feel poorer than you did 5 years ago. Your rent is higher, your savings are smaller, your raise didn't keep up with anything. You're working just as hard, maybe harder, but something feels fundamentally broken, like the deal you were promised no longer exists. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You're not imagining it. And the thing quietly breaking that deal isn't a recession, isn't a crash, isn't a corrupt bank or a rogue politician. It's a technology, one that your company is celebrating right now. And by the time most people understand what it's actually doing to the economy, it'll already be done.
We've been here before. Sort of. Every major technological revolution in history promised the same thing: more efficiency, more growth, better lives for everyone. The steam engine wiped out thousands of skilled craftsmen overnight. Factories replaced artisans. Whole professions simply ceased to exist. Then electricity came, automated manufacturing, more displacement, more panic. Then computing, then the internet. Same story. And every single time, after years of pain and disruption, new industries emerged. New jobs were created. Workers eventually adapted. The agricultural revolution pushed people into factories. The factory revolution pushed people into offices. The computing revolution pushed people into knowledge work. The pattern held for 200 years. Here's the problem. AI doesn't fit the pattern. Every previous technology automated physical work, muscles, repetitive motion, manual labor. AI automates thinking, the cognitive work, the analysis, the writing, the coding, the customer service, the legal research, the financial modeling, the jobs that millions of people spent decades training and studying to do. For the first time in history, the thing being automated isn't what workers do with their hands, it's what they do with their minds.
Let me explain what's actually happening inside the economy right now. Think of a pie. Every year, the economy bakes a bigger pie. GDP grows, companies produce more value is created. Historically, workers got a slice of that pie roughly proportional to their contribution. Company does well, workers get paid more, workers spend more, economy grows more. Bigger pie next year. Everyone moves up together. That was the deal. Work equals wages equals spending equals growth. Simple, circular. It worked. Now imagine a machine enters the kitchen. The machine bakes twice as much pie, faster, cheaper, without breaks, without benefits, without a salary. The pie gets bigger, much bigger, but the machine doesn't eat the pie. It doesn't spend money at local restaurants. It doesn't buy a house. It doesn't send its kids to university. It doesn't go on holiday and stimulate the tourism economy. The machine just produces. The owner of the machine collects. That's the AI economy in one image. Productivity is going up. Output is going up. Corporate profits are going up. But the number of people needed to generate that output is going down. And when fewer people are needed, wages stagnate. When wages stagnate, spending slows. When spending slows, that growing pie starts feeding fewer and fewer people. Right now, this is happening quietly in white-collar industries. A law firm that needed 20 junior associates to review contracts now uses AI to do the same job with 5. A marketing agency that needed 15 copywriters now runs with 4 and an AI tool. A bank that employed hundreds of analysts now automates the bulk of that work overnight. The jobs aren't being advertised as eliminated, they're just not being replaced when people leave. Silent downsizing, invisible displacement. And here's the part that makes this different from every previous technological revolution. When the steam engine displaced farmers, those farmers could become factory workers. Different skill, same basic requirement, human hands. When computers displaced typists, those typists could become data entry clerks. Different tool, same basic requirement, human presence. But when AI displaces knowledge workers, what exactly do those workers pivot to? More advanced knowledge work? AI does that too. Creative work? AI is coming for that. Management? AI is starting to do that. The escape route that existed in every previous revolution, the ability to move up the skill ladder, is being compressed from both ends simultaneously.
Here's where it gets serious. Modern capitalism runs on one fundamental assumption. Workers earn money, workers spend money. That spending becomes someone else's income. That income funds more production. Round and round. Economists call it the circular flow of income. It's not complicated. It's the engine of every modern economy on Earth. Now watch what AI does to that engine. Company A adopts AI, cuts its workforce by 30%, saves millions in salaries. Profits go up. Shareholders celebrate. But those 30% of workers, they're not spending the way they used to. They're cutting back, spending less at local shops, taking fewer holidays, delaying big purchases. The businesses those workers used to spend money in, they start feeling the squeeze too. So those businesses adopt AI to cut their own costs. More displacement, more wage pressure, less spending. Round and round. But this time, going in the wrong direction. This isn't a theory. The early numbers are already there. In the United States, productivity has risen significantly since 2020, but real median wages have barely moved when adjusted for inflation. The gap between corporate profit growth and wage growth is now at levels not seen since the 1920s. Let that sink in. The last time this gap was this wide, it ended in the Great Depression. And right now, the technology accelerating that gap is moving faster than any technology in history. There's another pressure point nobody wants to talk about. Consumer spending powers roughly 70% of the U.S. economy. In most developed nations, the figure is similar. If workers earn less, if fewer people are working at middle-income jobs, and if an increasing share of economic output flows to the small number of people who own the AI systems, who exactly is buying all the things the economy produces? This is the question that doesn't have a comfortable answer, because the people getting rich from AI, there aren't enough of them to replace the spending power of millions of displaced middle-income workers.
So what does the end of this road look like? The honest answer is, economists disagree. But the direction of travel is becoming harder to deny. Labor force participation rates in developed economies have been quietly declining for years. More people leaving the workforce than entering it. Not just because of aging populations, but because available jobs increasingly don't pay enough to make participation worthwhile. Inequality is accelerating. The gap between asset owners and wage earners has been widening for 2 decades. AI pours fuel on that fire. Governments are already quietly running the numbers on universal basic income, not because it's a radical left-wing idea anymore, but because the alternative, mass structural unemployment with no safety net, is politically and socially unsustainable. Several countries are already running UBI pilots: Finland, Kenya, Canada. The results are being watched very carefully. And economic growth itself, the thing that has defined human progress for 2 centuries, faces a structural threat. Because growth depends on demand. Demand depends on people having money to spend. And if AI systematically removes the mechanism by which ordinary people earn money, growth slows, not because we're producing less, but because fewer people can afford what we're producing.
Here is what AI will not do. It will not crash the stock market in a single day. It will not trigger an obvious crisis with a clear start date that ends up in the history books. It will not announce itself as a threat. It will simply, quietly erode the foundational relationship that modern economies are built on. Work leads to wages, wages lead to spending, spending leads to growth. That chain has held for 200 years. AI is the first technology in history with the genuine potential to break every link in that chain simultaneously. Not with a bang, with a slow, invisible, almost imperceptible pulling apart. The question isn't whether this is happening. The question is whether anyone in power is taking it seriously enough, fast enough, to build something that works for the people on the wrong side of it.
So here's what I want you to think about. If AI increases productivity without equally increasing wages, and if consumer spending is the engine of economic growth, who exactly is the economy growing for? Drop your answer in the comments. And if this made you think, share it with someone who still believes AI is just about efficiency, because the people who understand this shift earliest are the ones best positioned to navigate it. Subscribe. New video every week.